Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through some really interesting sources for you, try and connect the dots. And today we're really venturing into something, well, pretty unconventional. It's an idea that's kind of been floating around the edges of cryptic culture. It might make you pause, maybe even chuckle a bit, but honestly, it's just too compelling to ignore. Now, lots of sources look into the cypherpunks, potential human candidates for Satoshi, but we're focusing on one specific, very provocative idea: this fringe theory, the idea that Bitcoin, it might not actually be human. You heard that right. Not like a flying saucer or anything, something much more subtle. Code, a protocol, a mathematical marvel, really. Our source describes it almost like a blueprint dropped into our digital world from some kind of advanced intelligence. And this idea, this sort of perfection the source talks about, it casts a new light on Bitcoin's origins, which are, let's face it, already super mysterious. I mean, think back, 2008, global economy collapsing, and then this unknown person, or maybe a group, Satoshi Nakamoto, releases the white paper. Still nobody knows who they were.
Right. And then after launching the network, poof, vanished. That's a puzzle in itself.
Right. And what's really striking in the material we looked at is how it describes the Bitcoin protocol. Maybe the initial code wasn't perfect line by line, but conceptually, the source calls it flawless. It wasn't just another program. It stood out because of its economic alignment, its decentralization, how resilient it is. It's almost like it was built with this huge understanding of human nature, greed, trust, game theory, math, all woven together into one system that just runs itself.
Okay, conceptually flawless. That's a big statement.
Yeah.
What parts of the design make the source say that? Are we talking about things like the difficulty adjustment?
Yeah.
Or the halving schedule? Are those the examples of this, otherworldly precision?
Absolutely, yeah. The source definitely points to those. For instance, the hard cap, right? 21 million Bitcoin, that fixed supply. And the programmed scarcity, especially the halving schedule, it's highlighted as showing this understanding of economic cycles, maybe beyond typical human planning. It's like the system itself is designed to counter the very human things that lead to inflation, to financial messes, and the difficulty adjustment too, keeping block times consistent no matter the computing power thrown at it. That's presented as this like self-healing mechanism. It seems to anticipate and sort of neutralize potential attacks with this almost pre-planned elegance.
Okay, so help me connect that to the macro understanding of human greed, trust, and game theories part. What specific problems, maybe historical failures or challenges, does the source suggest Bitcoin's design solves in a way that hints at this higher intelligence?
Well, the source really digs into how Bitcoin tackles the Byzantine general's problem in a trustless way. That's something humanity wrestled with for, well, centuries, how to get agreement without a central boss, basically. Its solution to double spending, the fixed supply, stopping inflation, resisting censorship. These are presented as answers to really deep human vulnerabilities, power dynamics. The idea isn't just, oh, that's clever coding. It's more like a fundamental redesign of trust and how we coordinate.
Right. This conceptual flawlessness solving these massive fundamental problems.
Right.
It really does lead straight back to that question the source asks.
Yeah.
Is that something a single person could create? It kind of forces you to think about the implications, doesn't it? What it says about how we see technology, trust, our own limits, maybe. It really pushes you to look beyond just the surface level. So whether you buy the whole alien theory or, think it's completely wild, the source's main point still hits hard. Even if aliens didn't literally drop it here, the impact, that might be just as otherworldly. It's definitely a boundary-pushing idea.
It is. And if you connect that thought to the bigger picture, Bitcoin isn't asking for faith like some systems do. It actually demands understanding. It pushes users to verify things themselves, not just blindly follow authority, which, raises a huge question for us, for humanity. What better way, what better tool could you imagine to help a whole planet learn to coordinate without the old structures, kings, banks, borders, you name it? Our source really frames Bitcoin as an invitation to think differently, to trust code, not kings, to collaborate without needing that central controller. It's a system that doesn't just manage scarcity, it sort of embraces it, like a lesson in universal economics almost.
That is definitely something to chew on. And the source leaves you listening with this last really provocative thought to mull over. If aliens did want to communicate with us, would they send a message in a bottle? Or would they send us a blockchain? Keep thinking about that. How this perspective challenges, your own ideas about innovation, about where society might be heading. It's certainly a conversation starter.